Part 28. The Ultimate Lich King. Author, Xiezhongdai Aishang. Chapter 271. What are you doing, making so much noise? Yeah. Along with Rias's voice and Elsa's exclamation, a group of people appeared at the end of the corridor. Kang Na's heart skipped a beat, and when she turned around, she saw two figures who shouldn't be here. What a coincidence, Lord Lucifer and Uncle Gremory. Kang Na showed a somewhat dumbfounded expression. It was really over now. I hope my sister won't go crazy and destroy the world. That. Not to mention Rias, who couldn't laugh or cry. Even Surtsks and his father, the current head of the Gremory family, were speechless at the scene in front of them. Although Sirafal is famous in the underworld for being off-kilter, isn't it a little too much to harass a junior? In their eyes, the cause of the current situation must be Sirafal. Otherwise, as the Demon King Leviathan, might she be forcibly kissed by a junior? Although the current posture looks like Yayu is forcing Sirafal down, how is that possible? The opponent is Leviathan, one of the four Demon Kings of the underworld. What was somewhat surprising to Kang Na was that she originally thought her sister would have a big outburst, but unexpectedly she stood up as if nothing was wrong. Well, Surtsks-chan, what a coincidence, you're here too. Although he didn't know what happened, Surtsks felt a strong sense of danger in the woman in front of him. It's an open class for my beloved sister, so I came here. Isn't it the same for you, Sirafal? So it's like this, Allah, Gremory's uncle. After nodding to Surtsks, Sirafal began to greet Surtsks and Rias's father again. Yes. Your Highness Sirafal. The clothes this time are quite strange. I don't think it fits the appearance of a demon king. Uncle, don't you know? This is very popular in this country now. Oh, that's right. This is my ignorance. Ha, father. Please don't believe it. Seeing the sudden strange conversation, and seeing his father being almost ignored by Sirafal, Surtsk said with a wry smile. Okay sister, that's enough, right? Even if you are a sister, please pay more attention to my image. You came here wearing such shameful clothes on a day like a teaching visit, and you have to force me to come with you. As this person, I will be very troubled by the student council president of the school. As for the hobby of her out-of-line sister, Sana had no intention of objecting, but the key point was that she came to the school in the human world dressed like this and forced herself to come with her. How could she accept such a thing? Why is this, Sana-chan? I'm so sad to hear Sana-chan say such things. My sister admires magical girls, and Sana-chan doesn't know it too. Because she wants to use a shining wand to destroy all angels and fallen angels. Horatio Sirafal made a heart-shaped hand in front of her and said with starry eyes. Sister, please respect yourself. If my sister, who is the Demon King, shines just a little bit, a small country will be destroyed in a few minutes. However, Sirafal didn't pay any attention to Sana's warning. Just when she was about to continue acting coquettishly, the voice from behind made her pause slightly. Well, if there's nothing else, I'll leave first. No, you are the only one who cannot leave, Yayu-chan. Grasping Yayu's wrist tightly, there was a smile on Sirafal's face that made Yayu feel very dangerous. If Surtsks-chan happens to be here, then let's make things clear. Looking at Surtsks in front of her, Sirafal thought for a moment and then decided to clarify something. Sister, don't want it? Knowing what her sister wanted to say, Kang Na couldn't help but speak nervously. The girl couldn't help but regret that she would not have told her about Yayu if she had known it. Yayu naturally guessed what Sirafal wanted to say. Although she didn't care about her identity being exposed, and felt that this was the fairest choice for Kang Na, it seemed that Kang Na herself didn't think so. The girl may be feeling guilty because her relationship caused her sister to act up. It seems that she looks very little like a chicken. Ahem, Rias, please continue to visit with your brother and father. I will take them aside to deal with the matter just now. Seeing that tears were about to overflow from Kang's anxious eyes, Yayu was helpless. He said, then took the hands of the two women and disappeared at the end of the corridor. Surprisingly, Sirafal didn't resist, and just let Yayu pull her away. Such behavior made Surtsk and his father slightly stunned. This Sirafal, why is she so submissive and obedient? She didn't hesitate to forcefully kiss her just now. Could it be that she really likes Yayu? Well, I have to say that Yayu is really hard-working. You think so too? Liatan Surtsk said with a serious face as he looked at the three people who disappeared. Brother, please don't add charcoal after my nickname. Rias's eyes twitched. This started a rather shameful conversation back at the Gremory house. Why is this, Liatan? She has been calling me brother, and followed me. Is this a period of resistance? The shocked Surtsk wiped away tears while secretly watching his sister's reaction. Really? Brother? Why do you want to take things that happened when I was a child? Click. Her father was taking pictures of an angry Rias. He spoke with emotion. What a beautiful expression, Rias. You've grown up so well. I'm going to work hard for my wife who couldn't come today. Dad. It's true. The Demon King's family probably does this kind of thing all the time. Rather than saying peace, it would be better to say that the parent-child relationship with humans has not changed much. Well, the quarrel might be so big that it could make a small country disappear. Thinking while seeing Aisha like this now. The Demon King and his family have very interesting things in common. Akeno, who had been watching the show for a long time, came over with a smile. She seemed to be smiling happily, probably because she saw Ria's embarrassment. Oh! A vague sound came out of her mouth, and Aisha nodded seriously in agreement. The Ultimate Lich King. Author, Xiezhongdai. Chapter 272. I'm really surprised that you were pulled over so obediently. Walking to the other end of the corridor, Yayu stopped and looked at Sirafal in front of him and said this. Humph, I just don't want Kangna to be sad. Sirafal pouted her lips slightly and said unhappily, and then the girl gently hugged Kang Na, who spoke apologetically. I'm sorry Kang Na, it's my sister who didn't think about it well. But do you really think it doesn't matter like this? This guy is also your dependent, and you are qualified to bear the glory he brings. It's okay, sister. If you call it glory, being the sister of the Demon King has already been enough. Seeing how her sister cared about her, Kang Na smiled slightly, showing an indifferent expression. It is best to keep Yayu's identity a secret. If it is exposed too early, it may bring him unnecessary danger, especially at this critical moment when the three tribes' talks are about to take place. You dote on him so much. It's because you, the master, dote on his subordinates so much that's why. Seraphal's voice suddenly dropped when she said this. She couldn't help but cover her mouth, almost exposing her knowledge of the relationship between Yayu and Kana. Kang Na didn't notice anything, but Yayu raised his eyebrows slightly and stared at Sirafal in surprise. Zhe Kangna thought that if her sister knew about the relationship between herself and Yayu, she would definitely go crazy, and even say that she would kill the other party directly, right? That's why Sana doesn't think that her sister already knows about this matter. But Yayu was different. From the expression on Seraphal's face, he guessed that Sirafal might already know about this matter. The reason why he acted so indifferently was because he admitted it, right? After all, the demon reincarnated by the 11 demon chess pieces is an existence whose trajectory even the Demon King cannot predict. It is not too much to entrust his sister to such a person. No, even if you are a master, what's wrong with pampering your subordinates? Sana smiled nonchalantly, while Sirafal sighed slightly. Forget it, your concerns are indeed something that needs to be taken into consideration. It is indeed too dangerous to expose this guy prematurely now. But when his strength grows enough to face everything, you must boldly tell everyone, he is also a dependent of your Kang Na and a dependent of our Ziti family. That's natural, sister. The fact that Yayu is my dependent has never changed. Sure enough, my Xiao Kang Na has grown up, and is no longer the little kid who follows my sister all day long and acts coquettishly. Wu's sister is suddenly so happy, and suddenly so sad, my Xiao Kang Na. Sure enough, you don't need sister anymore. Sister, don't act so coquettishly in front of me all of a sudden. Please pay attention to your identity. You are Lord Leviathan among the 4 demon kings of hell. Looking at the 2 noisy sisters, a faint smile appeared on the corner of Yayu's mouth. It seemed that he didn't need to say anything more. Although Sirafal looks a little out of place, her doting on her sister is not the kind of blind doting. The open class, which seemed a bit messy, was finally over, and then came the day of the tripartite talks. It was the weekend, and the meeting was held at this time when there was no one in Kyo Academy. As the Supernatural Research Department, now she should introduce Rias as the next head of the Gremory family, a high-level pure-blood demon family, and open the door to the conference room of Kyo Academy. I'm sorry. After apologizing, Rias and Yayu took the lead in pushing the door open and walking in, followed by the family members behind them. There was a rather luxurious-looking table in the conference room specially prepared for this meeting. Those sitting around the table were divided into 3 camps. The demon side, Demon Lord Sertx Lucifer, and Sirafal Leviathan. Of course, as a maid, Graphia is waiting next to the trolley with tea. On the angel side, Michael with golden wings and halo, and an incredibly beautiful angel sitting next to him. On the fallen angel side, Azazel with 12 black wings and the white dragon Emperor Vala. The 3 camps have taken their seats, and now only Rias and the core members of the Kokaball incident are left. This is my sister, and their dependents, who were active in the Kirkball incident a few days ago as Rias' brother, Sertx proudly introduced to the angels and fallen angels. Thank you for your hard work. I have received the report. Please allow me to thank you all again. The one who responded was Archangel Michael, who gestured kindly to Yayu and Rias, although he did not take the holy sword back. But defeating Kokbal saved the face of heaven to a great extent. This is where Michael expressed his thanks. The governor of the fallen angels, Azazel, raised the corners of his mouth seemingly happily. We meet again, Ice Cube Boy. And I'm really sorry that my Kirkbold caused you trouble. He spoke in a somewhat flat tone, but there was no hint of apology in Azazel's words. Okay, everyone here has arrived. Everyone here knows the most important prohibition of God is no longer here. So, now that everyone is clear about it, let's start the formal talks. Sertx waved his hand, and the important meeting between the leaders of the 3 parties officially began. The talks were going very smoothly, and all 3 parties were conducting tests, but the governor of the fallen angel occasionally interjected a few words as if he didn't care. This guy, everyone present, and probably even the White Dragon Emperor were interested in him. There is nothing you can do. Next, Rias. It's almost time to talk about the incident a few days ago. Yes, Lord Lucifer. Finally, we have to mention the Kokaball incident. Under the urging of Sertx, Rias and Sana stepped forward at the same time. With the help of magic influence, Rias calmly revealed the entire Kokabor incident. An overview of the Kabul incident was recounted in detail. The above is the report of the incident by me, Rias Gremory, and her family. I, Kang Nacd, also hereby certify that his report is not fabricated. The whole process of reporting and proving was finally over, and the leaders of the 3 parties had different expressions after hearing it. Thank you for your hard work. Please step back. After Sertx said this, Sirafal next to him also blinked his cute eyes. Thanks, Rias-chan, Sauna-chan. Even in such a formal meeting, the somewhat off-kilter Demon King still showed no restraint. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Ultimate Lich King. Author, Shang. Chapter 273. Okay, Azazel. After listening to this report, I would like to hear the opinion of the fallen angel governor. At Surtsk's question, everyone's attention focused on the black-haired governor. In response, Azazel showed a fearless smile and began to speak. First of all, in the past few days, Kirk Bolt, a cadre of our fallen angel central organization, the Son of God Monitor, Grigori, acted arbitrarily without telling other cadres and me as the governor. The handling has been handed over to the White Dragon Emperor. Subsequently, the organization's military court meeting decided to subject Kirkbal to permanent freezing in the lowest level of hell. He can no longer come out. The explanation on this has been sent to you before it should be written in the information, right? This is all we fallen angels have to do with this incident. Azazel shrugged at Michael as he spoke. It seems like that guy Kokbal is obsessed with you and hopes to fight again. Michael sighed. The explanation is just a minimum explanation, although I know that you personally don't want to cause any huge incident with us. Is this true? That's right, I have no interest in war or anything like that. Kirk Bolt also belittled me in this regard. He also mentioned these reports just now, right? So it seems that our angel side is the most self-centered. First, Surtsk appeared, the most powerful demon king in history. Our angel side was extremely nervous, fearing that the war would break out at any time. We had been fighting for a while, prepare for war. As it turned out, the war did not happen at all, Michael said with a wry smile. Then there is you, Azazel. You have been summoning artifact holders for decades. When we heard that you got the White Dragon, we in the heaven thought that you were going to start a war, and then I have been on guard for a long time, but ended up messing around again. Michael said with an aggrieved expression, having had enough of being intimidated back and forth by the two major forces. Listening to Michael's words, Azazel smiled bitterly. This is for the purpose of researching artifacts. In this case, I will give you part of the research data. Although I am conducting research, in fact, at the beginning, I just wanted to increase my combat power and prevent a sudden war. But it turns out that I also overthought it. Now I have no interest in war. I am very satisfied with the current world. Don't even interfere in the politics of the human world, I have already ordered to my subordinates. I have no intention of getting involved in religion. I have no intention of influencing the devil's industry. After Azazel finished speaking, Michael tacitly looked at Surtsk, who had been silent, with resentful eyes. Hey, why are you two looking at me like this? The title of the strongest demon king is completely inexplicable. I have no interest in war at all. Says noticed the gazes of the two men. Kes smiled helplessly. Is that so? Now that everything has been made clear, let's just conclude peace. That's the original plan, right? Angel or devil? As Surtsk said this, the situation was restored in an instant. No matter who it was, everyone looked shocked. The three parties who were like enemies actually chose peace. After a short silence, Michael from the angel side was the first to speak with a smile. Yes, we do have such intention. If the three parties continue to confront each other, it will cause harm to the current world. Although it is a bit inappropriate for me as the leader of the angels, but, as the origin of war, God and Demon King they have all been wiped out, so peace is all the more important. It seems that peace is something that the three parties have been considering for a long time. Taking the Kokbal incident as an opportunity, this intention that only existed in the consideration stage was finally brought to the surface. The most critical part of the meeting between the leaders of the three parties was, If the war breaks out again, the three forces will really be eliminated together this time. Then, it will have a huge impact on the human world, and the world will end. We can no longer wage war. Ends with this mutual agreement. After reaching a peace agreement, the talks progressed to various matters regarding future combat capabilities. For example, topics such as the current strength of the three camps, how to get along with each other, and their future sphere of influence and cooperation. In that ancient war, the three major camps were deeply wounded. The heaven lost its gods, the underworld lost its demon king, and even the fallen angels lost almost all their combat power. Under such circumstances, the three camps must not only consider reproduction and survival. Regarding the problem, defense against other mythological systems is also necessary, so if they can coexist peacefully, or even unite and cooperate, then even if they lose their roots, the existing forces of the tripartite camp can still withstand the prying eyes of other mythological systems. So, that's about it. Does anyone else have anything to say? Sertsk asked to the round table after finishing the conversation. Well, I have something to say. Somewhat unexpectedly, Yayu suddenly spoke. Oh, soldier of the Gremory family, what do you want to say? Azazel raised his eyebrows slightly, and Michael stared at Yayu curiously. A genius soldier on par with fallen angel leader Kirkbold. Well, what I want to say is a digression. It's about the three of them. Yayu said this and looked back at the church trio headed by Aisha. Although they turned into demons, their faith has not been lost, and they often pray unconsciously. But the three of them will get headaches because of praying, which makes me unbearable. If you say something, there should be a way. Yayu said this and looked at Michael. And Yayu's words also made the three women's eyes widen in surprise. Yayu would actually make such a request to the angel side senior management for them on such an occasion. Wisteria, Irina, Elsa, and Zenovia, right? Michael looked at the three girls with a little bit of pity. It's such a pity to lose the three of you. Elsa, who has a powerful healing artifact, Zenovia, the holy sword user, who has excellent sword control skills, and Irina, who has the qualifications to be reincarnated into an angel. Depravity is our own choice, and a church that deals with heretics without mercy will not tolerate us. Zenovia shook her head and spoke indifferently. By now, she no longer had any faith in her heart, and praying unconsciously was just a habit. The Ultimate Lich King. Author, Xiezhongdai. Chapter 274. Regarding Zenovia's slightly ruthless answer, Michael could only smile bitterly. I can only apologize for this. After God was eliminated, only the system that was responsible for protection, mercy, and miracles was left. Regarding this system, to put it simply, it is in order to cause miracles caused by God. God created a system and used this to cause miracles on earth. The effects of holy tools such as exorcists and crosses are all the power of the system. And because the God is dead, what happened to that thing? Yayu suddenly thought of something. Yes, it is very difficult for people other than God to control the system. Although I finally activated the system with all the seraphs centered on me, but compared to when God was alive, the effectiveness of blessings and mercy reaching those who believe in God is no longer what it used to be. Although this is a great pity, the number of people who can be saved is limited. Because God is no longer there, there are only a limited number of people who can be saved. Therefore, there is a need to keep things that may affect the system away from the church. Things that can affect the system are, for example, some of the artifacts. This also includes the Mother's Smile owned by Aisha Aljit. And White Dragon Emperor's Wings of Light. Artifacts, questioning the existence of God, these beings that have an impact on the system cannot continue to be near the church. Of course, for the sake of innocent lives, we also strictly prohibit random executions, and most of the heretics have been exiled. After finishing speaking, Michael bowed his head to Elsa, Irina, and Zenobia with an apologetic expression. All three of them had their eyes wide open. I really don't know what to do. However, Zenobia quickly shook his head and smiled. No, Michael-sama, please don't apologize. I still have to be raised by the church at this age. Although it's a little unpleasant, thank you very much for letting me know the reason. It is our sin that you were reincarnated as a demon. It doesn't matter. Although I regret it somewhat, I can do all the things I couldn't do when I was in church. Now my daily life is very colorful, Zenobia said, and looked at Yelena, looked at Yayu again. If you say something like this, it might anger other believers. Even so, we are content with this life now, right, Irina? Zenobia looked at Irina with a smile. At this moment, the obsession in her heart completely dissipated, along with Irina and Aisha. Although I don't want to admit it, it is true. For those of us who are obsessed with the depraved life, give us divine punishment, Michael-sama. Rias looked pious and repentant, but Michael shook his head gently. Let us bear this sin. I can feel relieved to hear you say this. At this time, Aisha finally raised her head and faced Michael with tears of joy. Lord Michael, I feel very happy now. Because I have many important people. And I feel very honored to be able to talk to Lord Michael, whom I have longed for a long time. I'm very sorry, and I sincerely thank you for your tolerance. As for the headaches caused by not being able to change the habit of praying for a while, it can be easily solved. I will eliminate the three of you from the system, and you can use the new Let's Live Happily as a devil. Michael said with a smile. In this way, the matters concerning Genova, Irina, and Aisha were settled, and the knots in the hearts of the three girls were finally let go. Then all the things that need to be resolved have been resolved. Let's discuss the matter of the soldier. Asakel narrowed his eyes slightly as he spoke, and then stared at Yayu maliciously. I'm really curious. Can you tell me the name of the expression in your hand? Azazel, what do you want to do? Listening to Azazel's words, Surtsk frowned slightly with dissatisfaction, looking protective of Yayu. Don't be so nervous. I'm just curious. You also know that my hobby is collecting artifacts. Seeing such a powerful unknown artifact appear in front of you, it's normal to be so curious. Azazel said so matter-of-factly, but Yayu didn't care. It was just a name, and it didn't matter even if he knew it. Frostmourne was not a weapon that existed in this world anyway. The name is Frostmourne. Yayu said casually, while Azazel lowered his head and fell into thinking. Well, it's a name I've never heard of among the god-killing tools. Could it be that it's a lost god-killing tool? Then I don't know. All I know about this weapon is the name. After Yayu finished speaking, he lazily leaned back on his chair. Azazel, who didn't get the answer he wanted, shrugged helplessly. Everything that needed to be said was said. Just when the meeting was about to come to a successful end, suddenly, a huge explosion came from the outside. What happened? Everyone in the conference room was awestruck. An explosion would occur on such an important occasion? Generally speaking, this kind of thing is impossible to happen, right? It seems that something unexpected happened. Azazel was the first to go to the window and observe the situation outside. Haha, this is really surprising, we seem to be surrounded. He smiled disdainfully, and at the same time, Surtsk and Michael also stood up from their seats. The situation outside the window does indeed look like what Azazel said. Everyone here is surrounded, densely surrounded by more guys wearing black robes. Interesting, someone actually launched an attack during a meeting between the leaders of the three tribes. What gave them the courage to do this? Azazel spoke softly, showing an interested look. Just after Azazel's words fell, an even more violent explosion sounded, a dazzling flash of light flashed across the glass, and the entire school building shook violently. Really, no matter what era it is, If peace is made between forces, there will always be some people who come from nowhere to get in the way. Michael said helplessly while looking at the mages who were floating above the school courtyard and using magic bullets to attack, wondering which side they would belong to. The Ultimate Lich King. Author, Xiezhongdai Shang. Chapter 275. These people must be magicians, right? That's right, it's the group of magicians. The legendary magician Merlin Ambrose analyzed the devil's magic system on his own and composed something similar to magic and magic. Judging from the power of the magic released, everyone looks like an intermediate demon. Azazel explained with a fearless expression. In terms of knowledge in this area, everyone present, even the Demon King and the Archangel, could not compare to the governor who had nothing to do and study all day long. So, it's a terrorist attack. Although it was a bit unbelievable, everyone present could not help but think of the word terrorist attack in their minds. Well, that's right, but those guys' attacks can't cause damage to the school building, because Sirtsk, Michael, and I have already launched an extremely powerful defensive barrier. I think this world can break it. The three of us who jointly set up the barrier will definitely not be able to count more than one hand. This was said with great confidence. Of course, no one present would doubt that Lucifer, the strongest demon king in the underworld, Michael, the strongest angel in heaven, and Azazel, the governor of the fallen angels, had jointly established a defensive structure. It is not an exaggeration to call it absolute defense. TCH, I'm really fed up, but at this time. As he said this, the governor of the fallen angel frowned impatiently. After casually opening the window, he casually saw the overwhelming terrifying light guns almost instantly. Just kill those annoying magicians instantly. However, not long after, another large number of magicians appeared densely in the barrier. Tisk, is it over yet? While clicking his tongue, shyly took action to kill him again. However, the situation was still the same. Magicians seemed to appear endlessly in the barrier. No matter how many times they were killed, there would always be some. The new batch filled the entire campus. It seems that this time is not a simple terrorist attack. Sirtsk, who was observing the situation from the side, analyzed it seriously. Being able to kill the three waiting troops silently, the leader of the other party, is definitely not easy. Moreover, we have also seen that we cannot remove the barrier, otherwise the towns outside will be reduced to rubble in an instant, as expected of the leaders of all parties. Each one can make analysis and judgment as quickly as possible. Oh, it's really unexpected that a traitor will appear here. Betrayer, except for a few people, some other family members did not have that kind of analytical ability, so even if they said it shyly, they would look at each other in shock. Isn't it? No matter how many times we kill those guys, they will keep coming in. If there are no guys connected to the transfer magic square here, how can these miscellaneous fish get in? That's not necessarily true, brother. Didn't Lord Lucifer say that the other party's leader is very powerful? Moreover, who among us is more likely to become a traitor? Hey, troublesome kid, I've told you before that I have no interest in war or anything like that. I'm just a simple artifact lover. Really, how distrustful am I? A peace agreement has been reached in response to Ria's sudden interruption. Azazel could only smile and shake his head. Azazel, now that my sister has brought it up, I have to ask clearly, what are you planning to do to collect artifacts? You seem to have gathered several god destruction equipment possessors. What about the god killer? What is the god killer planning to do now that the gods are gone? Hearing this question, Azazel suddenly became serious. This is preparation. Preparation? You just denied the war and now you are saying such disturbing words, Michael said in surprise. I said it, right? You don't want to fight. I won't start a war. However, self-defense is necessary. It is not prepared to attack you. Then who is it? Cow's Brigade. Cow's Brigade. Hearing the name of this organization, among all the people present, only Surtsk frowned, and the others, including Michael, looked confused and confused. It was only recently that I learned the name and background of the organization, but my deputy governor Shem Hassa discovered a group with bad behavior before. They seem to be gathering dangerous elements from the three major forces. They also include people who have reached the forbidden area. The miraculous owner of the hand. It has also been confirmed that several people possess the God destruction gear. What is the purpose of this group of people? Michael asked. Destruction and chaos. Very simple, right? They don't care about the peace of this world. They are terrorists. And they are the biggest and worst in nature. Azazel shrugged. What's more important is that the leader of the organization is a dragon that is more powerful and ferocious than the red dragon and the white dragon. Azazel once again broke the terrible news. Ignoring the stunned Rias and others in the entire conference room, Michael sighed and spoke. I see, he took action. Infinite Dragon God, Ouroboros dragon, Ophis. The dragon that even the gods fear, the dragon that has reigned as the strongest since the beginning of this world. When everyone looked complicated, a strange voice came into everyone's ears. Yes, Ophis is the leader of the disaster group. Click. Along with the sound, a Rubik's Cube appeared on the floor of the conference room. The Devil's Special Summoning Circle. Looking at the shape of the circle, everyone present opened their mouths in surprise. Leviathan's Rubik's Cube. Gurfia said slowly. This is, I have seen it in the Vatican books, the special magic square of the dead old devil Leviathan. Zenobia pointed at the magic square and whispered. Then, a beautiful woman appeared inside the shining magic square. Her wide open chest revealed a wonderful view, and she was also wearing a skirt with high slits. Guian, His Highness Surtsk, the Demon King, and it is such an honor to meet the leader of the fallen angels and the two seraphs. The woman greeted Surtsk without any shyness, and then said he looked at Seraphal. The Demon King Seraphal, who usurped Leviathan's position, received a lot of care from you during that war. The person who inherited the blood of the previous generation of Leviathan, Cadelia Leviathan. What's going on? Seraphal frowned and looked at the old opponent in front of her. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Ultimate Lich King. Author, Shang. Chapter 276. The faction of the Old Demon Kings. After the original 4 Old Demon Kings were eliminated, those who advocated a thorough resistance when it came time to choose a new Demon King were those who inherited the blood of the Old Demon Kings. After the war, the demons, whose original fighting strength was already exhausted, used their last strength to banish all the die-hard Old Demon King's army to a corner of the underworld. After that, a new regime was established for the propagation of the race. Those are the current 4 Demon Kings. The female, Cadelia Leviathan, who inherited the blood of the old Leviathan, said with a provocative smile. Most of the people from the old Demon King faction have decided to join forces with the disaster group. That means we are about to officially start a war with the new Demon King's camp. It's really not easy for demons. Azazel just watched with a smile. Cadelia-chan, are you saying you want to declare war on us? Seraphal, that's exactly what I meant. We also participated in this attack. Are you going to start a war again? Is the position of the Demon King so worth pursuing, even if the demon's situation is once again plunged into a situation of no return? Seraphal said with a bitter look on her face. Cadelia-chan, why is this? Yes, this is a coup. It was a rebellion launched by the old Demon King faction against the current Demon King faction, just like the rebellion launched by the Reform faction at that time. Seraphal, you should think about today's meeting in reverse. Because God and the previous Demon King are no longer here, the world needs to change. This is our conclusion. Is this a coup based on the knowledge that God is gone and there is peace among the three major forces? Has that bastard Ophis already seen that far? I really didn't expect that. After listening to Azazel's words, Kadiliah just sighed. She just serves as a symbol of power and plays the role of gathering strength. We must use her power to destroy the world once, then rebuild it again, and then make the new world ours. The rebels among the angels, fallen angels, and demons are gathered together. In other words, they want to rule their own world and create a new earth. The one who is responsible for the coordination is Ouroboros Ophis. Xerxes, who rarely lost his composure, laughed sarcastically. Kadiliah-chan. Why would you do such a thing? Demon King girl Seraphal seemed to look at Kadiliah with some regret, but the other party glared back full of resentment. Seraphal, you took the title of Leviathan away from me, and you have the nerve to ask. I am the one who inherited the blood of the orthodox Leviathan. I am more suitable for the Demon King. Kadiliah-chan, I. Seraphal, don't worry. I will kill you here today and take back the name of the Demon King Leviathan. Then, Orpheus will become the god of the new world. He only needs to become a symbol. Then the legal principles and concepts will be rebuilt by us. Michael, Azazel, and Lucifer says, you. Kadiliah didn't finish her words, because a bit of cold air fell towards her neck with a biting murderous intent, making the proud former Demon King's bloodline shrink slightly. Damn Junior, how dare you attack me? Seeing that the person who took action was a strange man sitting next to Rias, Kadiliah naturally treated him as a junior. However, this is indeed the case. You is just a soldier. I'm talking about you two. Where is the dignity of being a demon king? Being pointed at the nose and scolded by a former bereaved dog? Since the old demon king was defeated in the previous war, it means that they are losers and are being pushed by this person who keeps moving forward. Existences eliminated by the world. You, who was holding Frostmourne tightly in his hand, spoke so lightly, staring at Kadiliah with a pair of eyes that seemed to be smiling but not smiling. If I didn't want to eradicate the roots before because I missed my old relationship, then there is no reason to be merciful now. You, this matter. Seraphal seemed a little embarrassed, and that was true. After all, she was taking away the status that should belong to the other party, and even drove them out. After doing such an excessive thing, it was natural for her to be shaken. What's going on with this kid? Doesn't he even know the most basic etiquette? Amir Jr. interrupts at such a time. It doesn't matter if he kills him, right? Kadiliah said with a sneer, with a hint of violence in her words, and the next second she attacked Yayu brazenly. Astonishing magic power gathered in the palm of Kadiliah's hand. The voluptuous woman with Demon King level combat power had the consciousness of killing when she struck, and Yayu was bound to be killed on the spot. And just when Xerxes and Seraphal both changed their expressions and were about to come to the rescue, Yayu's counterattack was faster and more ruthless than either of them thought. The god-killing device that even they couldn't name emitted a frightening cold air, spinning in Yayu's palm. Immediately, the side of the sword faced the descendant of the former Demon King who launched the attack, in a gesture of comparison. Kadiliah slapped the former descendant of the Demon King in the face even faster. With the crisp sound of snapping, everyone present involuntarily felt their scalps go numb. It can be imagined that Kadiliah must have been in great pain after receiving such a blow. Being hit hard on the face by such a slap-like attack, Kadiliah hit the wall of the conference room uncontrollably, knocking a big hole out of the wall and still couldn't stop being castrated. The person flew out of the school building and fell to the ground like a kite with its string broken. Oops, I accidentally pushed a little harder, but I didn't expect that the descendant of the former Demon King Leviathan, who has Demon King level combat power, would be so vulnerable. Looking at the huge hole in front of him, Yayu had a slightly stunned look on his face, and then he spoke with some meaning. To be honest, he was a little surprised, because this so-called descendant of the former Demon King was really too weak, not even comparable to Kokbal. When everyone in the conference room fell into a deathly silence because of Yayu's sudden move, a burst of wanton laughter rang out. Ha ha ha, you kid is so right. These old Demon Kings are so funny. With such insignificant strength, they dare to speak nonsense in front of the two Demon Kings of Hell, Surtsks and Sira. Fool, I look down upon you, you might as well be decisive as a junior. The Ultimate Lich King. Author, Xiezhongdai Shang. Chapter 277. Governor Azazel laughed heartily, but soon he stopped laughing. Cudelia, who fell out of the conference room, angrily fired a magic bullet in this direction. Yayu cleverly dodged to the side, and then the attack hit Azazel straight away. On the face. Of course, such an attack will not have any impact on Azazel, but it will definitely make him unhappy. Hey, what are you doing? It was that kid who attacked you. Why are you looking for me? Humph, the same goes for you, Azazel. You actually dare to look down on me. You have to pay the price for it. Anyway, there is no need for you original rulers to exist. Let's start with you, the governor of the fallen angels. Let's start. As Cudelia said this, magic flames appeared all over her body, and she launched a brazen attack on Azazel. Sure enough, you guys are all madmen. You are just as dangerous as that idle dragon. This world will really be over if it falls into your hands. Surtsks, Michael, I will deal with her, but don't take action. Azazel stood up. Facing the battle, the fallen angel governor seemed to be getting more and more excited and began to emit dark arrogance. Cudelia, you're not going to surrender, are you? This was the ultimatum issued by Surtsks, but Cudelia remained unmoved. Yes, Surtsks, you are a good demon king, but not the best demon king. So we have to be the new demon king. That's it? What a shame. After seeing the two confirming, Surtsks raised his hand towards the wall where a gap had been blown. Boom. A light attack blew away the entire front wall. With an exaggerated explosion, Azazel unfolded 6 pairs of 12 black wings. The color of the feathers was darker than the night. The descendant of the old demon king Leviathan, one of the doomsday beasts. He is a good opponent. Cudelia Leviathan, do you want to have an apocalyptic battle with me? Azazel made a bold statement, and Cudelia responded with an arrogant smile. That's what I meant, governor of the fallen angels. Buzz. Azazel and Cudelia Leviathan flew away from the scene and started an offensive and defensive battle between light and demon at high altitude above the playground. The culprit who caused all this was simply forgotten. Yayu put away Frostmourne and sat at the conference table while watching the battle outside, mumbling while still watching. So, do the guys from the Demon King faction also have low emotional intelligence? They were obviously beaten out by me, but why did they find Azazel inexplicably? No wonder they failed in the original war. They were just too stupid. Yes. Listening to Yayu's words, everyone present smiled helplessly. The angels were stunned by Yayu's boldness. Is this, the recently emerged genius soldier with unlimited potential who was reincarnated with 8 demon chess pieces? The extremely beautiful female angel next to Michael, who had not spoken a word, stared at Yayu's slow opening, and immediately attracted everyone's attention. Although she never spoke or introduced herself, with such a gorgeous appearance, there is no doubt that she must be the most beautiful woman in heaven, Gabriel. Yayu also raised his eyebrows slightly. He couldn't help but think of what Zenobia said at that time. The angel personally issued a command to kill himself, a reincarnated demon with unlimited potential, at any cost. There's one thing I don't know whether I should say, although it would be a bit emotionally damaging to say it in this current situation. Yayu spoke so slowly that Michael was slightly startled, because Yayu was staring at him when he said this, or to be more precise, he was staring at Gabriel beside him. When Genova first came here, she said that an angel had issued a command to kill me at any cost. She also hoped that Lord Michael could give me a reasonable explanation. What does this command mean? Oh, is this really happening? Listening to what Yayu said, the eyes of Sertsk and Sirafal turned cold. The two demon kings who knew the importance of Yayu looked at Angel Fang with dissatisfaction. It's really not good to say this kind of thing when such a powerful enemy is present, little brother Yayu. Feeling the pressure from the two demon kings, Michael smiled bitterly and spoke slowly. I don't know about this matter, Miss Zenobia. I hope you can tell me which angel gave you this order. Zenobia glared at Yayu fiercely, expressing her disapproval of him betraying her, and immediately fell into a dilemma. Just when she was hesitating to say this angel's name, Gabriel, who was sitting there, slowly spoke. No need to ask, I gave the order. Gabriel spoke so frankly, and the conference room suddenly fell into an extremely awkward atmosphere. Only the sound of Azazel's battle outside continued. I need an explanation, Gabriel. Please calm down, Sertsk. We must maintain the barrier now, otherwise we don't know what kind of damage it will cause to the outside world. Please explain, can we wait until the current crisis is over? Michael smiled bitterly and spoke. Sertsk thought for a moment and nodded lightly. He knew that now was not the time to talk about these things. Maintaining the barrier was the first priority. Rias and Sana, now that Azazel and Kadilea are fighting, the damage may expand. In order to prevent the outside world from being harmed as much as possible, Michael and I will stay here and continue to strengthen the siege of this school. The boundary of the garden. The translator is analyzing the magic circle used by the teleportation magician. I'm sorry, but can you please take care of the magicians outside before she completes the analysis? Sertsk said this, and the three of them nodded. Yes. Then it's up to you. Don't worry, brother, stop the glory of the Gremory family. Everyone, come with me. Ria said this enthusiastically, and immediately took her family members and set off towards the playground. Yeah, you also planned to go with him, but Sertsk stopped him. Yeah, you stay. Don't you need help from Rias? It doesn't matter, they are just ordinary magicians. Rias can handle it. The reason for letting you stay here is to deal with the next attack that may come. You must know that there is more than one Kadilea in the old Demon King faction. You are an extra Demon King level fighting force on our side. Is that so? I understand. Listening to what Sertsk said, Yayu nodded and immediately stood guard in the conference room. The Ultimate Lich King. Author, Xiezhongdai. Chapter 278. There were bursts of loud noises and blinding flashes of light in the air. Azazel and Kadilea Leviathan started a fierce offensive and defensive battle. Azazel created several spears of light that were much longer than his height and quite thick, and threw them at Kadilea. Kadilea opened several defensive magic arrays in the air to block light attacks. The aftermath of the offensive and defensive attacks by both sides caused serious damage to the playground. If it weren't for the barrier that Sertsk and the others put up to protect the new school building, the building would have completely collapsed. However, the current campus of Kiao Academy is completely surrounded by a powerful barrier, and the surrounding residential areas will not be affected by such an exaggerated attack. To Yayu's surprise, Kadilea, who was not very strong in his opinion, actually fought with Azazel for a long time. But in the end, Kadilea was at a disadvantage. After being blasted from the sky to the earth, Kadilea, covered in blood and in a state of embarrassment, just lay in the pit and raised her head to look at the sky. What a powerful force! Governor of the fallen angels, it seems he underestimates you. With that said, Kadilea took out a small bottle from her arms, and then swallowed what looked like a small black snake in the bottle. In an instant, boom! The space shook violently, and the entire Quao Academy was shaken by the fluctuations of power. Ha ha ha, let me feel such a powerful force for a while. Saying these words with a cruel meaning, Kadilea slowly stood up from the pit. The magic power released from Kadilea's whole body expanded instantly, exuding a creepy aura, which was a powerful aura that could almost overwhelm anyone present. What exactly is this? Azazel said in surprise, and then something even more unexpected happened to everyone. The white blazing light instantly penetrated Azazel's abdomen, and the latter's body flew up with a surprised expression, and then fell to the ground in an awkward manner. Tisk. You actually raised the flag of rebellion in this situation, Vala. Azazel, who fell on the ground and covered his wound in embarrassment, said with a wry smile. That's right, Azazel. Blooming with dazzling brilliance, White Dragon King Vala slowly fell down while maintaining a restrained posture, and stood beside Kadilea. At the moment when peace is decided, launch an attack, and then Kadilea will attract your attention. Wait for the opportunity and I and the White Dragon Emperor will attack you again. The one who can bury one of the leaders of the three major forces is the best. Let's talk, so it would be better if it falls through. Really, I'm in trouble too. I didn't expect that one of my own would actually. Azazel laughed at himself. When did it become like this? I was poached while taking Kirk Bolt back to the headquarters. I'm sorry, Azazel. I think it will be more interesting here. Wally, has the White Dragon surrendered to Offis? No, in the final analysis it's just help. It's a very charming poaching. Don't you want to try fighting against the strong men of various gods? When asked like this, I wanted to try my own power and couldn't refuse. Asashe, well, you hate war, right? If you look like this, you won't be able to fight against the powerful men of various gods. Vala sighed. Although I told you to become stronger, I didn't ask you to create the cause of the destruction of the world. It doesn't matter, I just need to keep fighting forever. That's it? No, maybe I already thought in my heart that you would leave me. From the moment I met you until today, you have always been eager and strong to fight. The White Dragon Emperor was responsible for the preparation and information provision this time. Since you understand his true nature, you still let him go. It's really unlike you. As a result, you ended up harming yourself. Kadilea laughed at Azazel. Vala put his hand on his chest, glanced at Azazel who was smiling bitterly, and said to everyone present. My real name is Wally. Wally Lucifer. Oh, you are another descendant of the old Demon King, but I have never seen you during that war. Serxx, who is the current Demon King Lucifer, said slowly. It's true that I inherited the blood of the previous Demon King who died. However, I am a hybrid child born between a father who is the grandson of the old Demon King and a human mother. The artifact of the White Dragon, because I am half, that's how people get it. Although it's an accident. However, I was born as Lucifer's true bloodline and the White Dragon. If there is such a thing as fate and miracle, maybe it's me. Vala shrugged and said proudly, and at the same time, the devil's wings appeared from the light wings behind him. Are you ready to wake up? Azazel still has Seraph and Demon King. The speaker was Kadilea, who suddenly gained powerful power. Different from the weakness just now, her eyes now looked different. Full of confidence. Tisk, this exaggerated expansion of spiritual energy, what did Offis give you? Kadilea laughed after hearing Azazel's question. Yes, she is a dragon with unlimited power. In order to change the world, I borrowed a little power from her. Thanks to this, I can fight you now. It is not impossible to wipe out all you stupid guys here. Oh, what gives you courage? Is it this power that doesn't belong to you? 2 angels and 2 demon kings continued to maintain the barrier, and only you could step forward and speak. No matter whose power it is, as long as it is in my hands and used now, are you ready to wake up? Just now, I deliberately turned a blind eye to you, this idiot, just to let Vala sneak attack Azazel. Now for you just now pay the price for my humiliation. Cuddylea said such words cruelly, but yeah, you didn't pay attention to her at all, and just looked at Azazel, who looked a little embarrassed. Hey, can you still fight me, idiot governor? Whose side are you on, bastard? Don't look down on people, you junior. Azazel said this somewhat unpleasantly, and immediately turned his eyes to Vala. So, the last question is, Vala, why did you come to attack me specially? Is it because I am the weakest? No. Because you are the strongest and most threatening. Putting on an elegant posture, Vala replied with a smile. Tisk, I don't know if it's true or not, but I'll accept the compliment. Curling his lips, Azazel took out something that looked like a dagger from his arms. That is. Azazel just pointed the tip of his dagger at Cuddylea, who couldn't help but speak, looking very surprised and moved. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Ultimate Lich King. Author, Shang. Chapter 279. Since I am a fan of artifacts, I must have made replicas or something myself. Well, most of them are just garbage. The god who developed the artifacts is really awesome. This is the only thing I respect about that guy. Humph, there will never be such a thing as a divine weapon in the new world. Even if there is no such thing, the world will not have problems. Sooner or later, Odin in Northern Europe will take action, and the world will not change. Looking at the artifact in Azazel's hand, Cuddylea said. Azazel smiled proudly and immediately sighed. After listening to your words, I feel that your purpose is getting more and more disgusting to me. Valhalla. Asa Protoss. If we can't get along, are you planning to destroy Odin? Before that, you want to take away guys who have fun, are the only way to die. The shape of Azazel's dagger has changed. Emitted light. What? How can it be? Azazel, you. Azazel said sonorously and forcefully in front of Cuddylea, who seemed to have noticed something. Forbidden hand transformation. For a moment everything was surrounded by flashes of light. After the light disappeared, a man wearing gold full body armor appeared. It's golden and has a creature-like appearance, but it's like a dragon. Snapped. 12 jet black wings stretched out from his back. Black feathers were flying all around. The golden armor in the shape of a dragon flapped its black wings, and Azazel put on the dragon's armor. Holding a huge light gun. This is made by studying the white dragon and other dragon-type artifacts. It is my masterpiece artificial artifact. The simulated hand-free state of the falling dragon's flash gun, the falling dragon's armor, Azazel, he said proudly, and a terrifying aura emanated from his whole body, which was the aura of a dragon. Although it has an exaggerated power, anyone can see the problem. The reason why artifacts are artifacts is because they are God's creations. Although Azazel's artifact is forbidden to use to a degree close to that of a god's annihilation tool, it is a pity that it is a disposable item. Ha ha ha. As expected of you, Azazel. Did you really create it? Vala laughed happily, smiling because he finally had the opportunity to have a happy fight with a strong person. Leave that woman to you, and leave the white dragon to me, Azazel said, and rushed out without giving Yayu a chance to refute. Really, why do I have to fight this loser? Yayu, who was eager to fight Vala, said with some dissatisfaction. Asshole, do you look down on me? Cuddylea's face was distorted because of anger. Just when she was about to stop Azazel, Vala on her side fired a white thunder with a palm. Wally, are you crazy? Trash, get out of here, his opponent is me, Vala said coldly, without even thinking that the other party was his ally. Being humiliated one after another, but unable to utter a single word of rebuttal, Cuddylea looked at Yayu with resentful eyes. Oh, it seems that it's not just me, but your allies also think so. Cordelia, the word waste suits you very well. Seeing the distorted look on Cordelia's face, Yayu laughed at her mercilessly. I am the one who has inherited the blood of the great true Leviathan. Cordelia Leviathan. I am not a waste, damn Junior, I will kill you. Cordelia shouted, but Yayu waved to her. Bring it on. Suffer death. Emitting terrifying aura, Cordelia flew towards Yayu at a fierce speed. Facing the furious Cordelia's attack, Yayu was very calm. He stood there calmly facing the approaching attack without making any movement, as if the heaven-destroying spiritual energy did not exist. Cordelia's power does not belong to herself, it comes from the power of the infinite dragon god Orpheus. The little black snake that Cordelia just swallowed gave Yayu a great sense of intimacy. If Cordelia gave Yayu the feeling not long ago that she was a difficult enemy on par with Coke Ball, then Cordelia, who now uses the power of Orpheus, seems to him to be a casual enemy. The waste he needed. Because she used the power of Orpheus, the power of the infinite dragon god, the power of the dragon. Too weak. Shaking his head and speaking so softly, although Orpheus's power is hopelessly powerful for Yayu today, for Yayu who has felt the power of Naisha and Naisha, this power is really not enough. Worth mentioning. After encountering various dragon powers one after another, Yayu found that a certain switch seemed to be turned on in his body, which seemed to be a gift quietly given to him by Naisha. The power of the dragon belongs to Naisha and Nisa like a king, a powerful and despairing power. At the same time, this power also has a nature, that is, it is the power to dominate all dragons. As expected, that little girl still couldn't worry about herself, so she secretly gave herself such a convenient thing. Thinking of Naisha and Naisha, Yayu couldn't help but reveal a faint smile. Are you kidding me? Go to hell. Roaring angrily, Cordelia held the rune waste in her hands, and immediately poured out all the killing blow on Yayu's body. The violent spiritual energy exploded violently, and the entire barrier trembled violently. Cordelia's blow hit Yayu from the front, affecting all the school buildings including him and the rear. Ha 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 ha, idiot. You actually took my blow head-on without dodging. Do you think you are the Demon King? You are just a junior. This is the power given to me by Lord Orpheus. I will die in this. It is your honor to be under the powerful power. Finished. Before the smoke and dust dissipated, a cold voice rang out, causing the temperature of the entire campus to drop by dozens of degrees for no apparent reason. How can it be? Cordelia exclaimed, and at the same time, Xerxes and Seraphol, who were nervously paying attention to the battle situation in the conference room, also breathed a sigh of relief. If something happened to Yayu, they really didn't know how to explain to their sister. The power of Orpheus, it's a pity, it's still a bit lacking. With a faint smile, an indescribable power slowly spread in the cold breath. Calm as an abyss, the irresistible and terrifying power of a king slowly emanates from an unknown place. What's going on? Cordelia is very familiar with it. It's the power of a dragon. It's exactly the same as Orpheus, but it's more powerful than Orpheus. The Ultimate Lich King. Author, BasedonanAnime. Chapter 280. How is it possible, how is it possible? Red Dragon. No, the Red Dragon can't be so strong. What on earth is this? Whose power does this power belong to? Cordelia's face was filled with fear, and her original self-confidence disappeared. The power belonging to the infinite dragon god Orpheus in his body could not give her the slightest sense of peace of mind. All she had was trembling and uneasiness. Why on earth is this? Whose power is the strongest dragon standing at the top of this world? What kind of power can make him fear like this? Who are you? Who are you? You can't be just an ordinary human being. Well, who am I? Just an ordinary soldier under Gremory's command. Yayu smiled slightly, and then swung Frostmourne in his hand and slashed straight towards Cuddylea. It was an ordinary blow with no skills at all, but under the suppression of Yayu's terrifying power, it was very difficult for Cuddylea to even move her body. Kankan avoided fatal injuries, but the giant sword in Yayu's hand still sliced through her body. Not a trace of blood was spilled, and the wound was frozen by deathly ice the moment it appeared. Frostmourne is indeed very cumbersome, and it basically has no performance in battles of the same level. It is like Cokeball, Yayu's biggest opponent at that time, who wants to use Frostmourne to leave a wound on the opponent's body. It's a little too difficult. But once the wound is left, the frost will corrode the enemy's body like poison until all its vitality is swallowed up. After his attack hit Cuddylea, Yayu didn't even look at her because the other party had no power to resist. "Do you need help, Azazel?" Looking up at the battle situation in the sky, Azazel did not take much advantage in the battle with Vala. The effect of the light wings of the Divine Slayer Gu White Dragon King is too powerful. As long as it is lightly touched by him, the combat power will be immediately reduced by half, and this half of the power will be absorbed by the opponent. It can be said that as long as Azazel is lightly touched by Vala, he has already lost. Being able to persist until now means that Azazel has not been touched by Vala so far. "What, you've already taken care of Cuddylea?" Not only Azazel was shocked, Vala was also shocked. Although Cuddylea's strength is not very good, at least she can easily deal with Cokeball after gaining Ophiza's power. Was she actually dealt with by Yayu so quickly? Vala thought so and looked down in the direction of Cuddylea. The former demon descendant who was extremely arrogant not long ago is now lying there like a dead dog, with a cold breath constantly emanating from her body. "Tisk, trash is trash, so I shouldn't count on you," Vala said helplessly and shook his head. He no longer wanted to continue the fight. He was the only one here. There were 2 demon kings and 2 seraphs in the conference room over there. In addition, he was fighting with him now. The equally matched Azazel and the ignorant Yayu. I'm not a waste." Cuddylea, who was already at the end of her crossbow, roared angrily and immediately her entire arm turned into a tentacle, instantly wrapping around Yayu's left hand. "Damn brat, just come with me." Ha 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 ha, he laughed wildly, and strange patterns appeared on Cuddylea's body. "Be careful, that's a self-destruction technique," Azazel shouted, while Vala on the other side instantly seized this opportunity. Being distracted during a battle is not a wise choice, especially when your opponent is me. The careless words rang in Azazel's ears, and when he came back to his senses, Vala already close to his side. Oops. Azazel felt so shocked in his heart, but it was obviously too late, as Vala's palm touched his chest. The power was taken away in an instant, and at the same time, Vala's power instantly amplified to the extent that Azazel could not compete. "The victory has been decided," Vala said so calmly, and immediately punched Azazel's chest with the palm. Azazel, who had been injured due to the sneak attack, spurted blood from his mouth, and his body fell like a kite with a broken string. On the other side, Cuddylea, who saw Vala's success, also had a look of joy in her eyes. "Wally, come and help me, come and kill this devilish kid with unlimited potential. If he is allowed to grow up, he will definitely be an extremely difficult opponent." "I refuse." However, Vala rejected Cuddylea's request so cruelly without even thinking about it. "What do you mean, Vala? Do you want to betray us? Do you want to run away, you bastard? The defeated dog has no right to tell me what to do. I joined you just because I want to fight against all kinds of strong men. I won't do such stupid things as killing rising stars with unlimited potential. Don't you want to die? The barrier is still there and you can't escape even if you want to. You'd better take care of yourself." As soon as Vala finished speaking, the sharp blade flashed and slashed towards Cuddylea's tentacle. "It's useless, that tentacle was specially made by absorbing my life. It can't be cut. Cuddly smiled fearlessly, and Yayu shrugged unmoved. Frostmourne landed on the tentacle and made a sonorous and powerful muffled sound. Indeed, just as Cuddly said, Frostmourne could not cut the tentacle at all. But Cuddly didn't understand one thing, that is, Yayu's Frostmourne was never used to kill people. The proud look on Cuddly's face didn't last long before it solidified, because she found that her tentacles were frozen directly. How could it be possible? Why are my tentacles frozen? This can't be the tentacles created by my life force. How could it be? Impossible. It's really a ridiculous word that weaklings often talk about. How many times have you said it, Cuddly? Vale, who was in the sky, laughed at his ally mercilessly, as if he didn't care about her life or death. Ah! Damn it! Damn it! You all must die! Die with me! The frozen tentacles shattered easily, and Cuddly yelled crazily, launching a self-destruction while rushing toward Yayu. There was a muffled bang, and Cuddly's body did not explode. It just turned into dust and disappeared. She must have been destroyed by the huge damage from the light. Light is extremely poisonous to demons, and there is no exception to this except for individuals outside of Yayu's world. The one who took action was Azazel, who was seriously injured and fell to the ground. Taking advantage of Cuddly's crazy moment, he successfully killed him and prevented her from self-destructing.